Okay, we're recording. So welcome everybody to the candid conversation of women, men, and sex. As I was just saying, this is not going to be a clearing call where you tell me or you tell us all of the trials, tribulations, pains, etc. of what's going on in your life so we can make it all better for you. This is not that. This is going to be a delightful, juicy, yummy call about, well, conversation about all things women, men, and sex. We are totally willing. So myself, guys, Ben, Johanna, say who you are.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Hey guys.
Hi.
So you've got the three of us tonight, and we are here to basically have a juicy conversation. We are willing to go absolutely anywhere with this conversation. So if you have questions, please post them in the chat. If you have comments, if you have basically anything, we're pretty much willing to talk about anything. No holds barred. And how much fun can we have on this call?
Mm.
So, alrighty, should we jump in?
Yes.
Yes.
Why not?
Face first.
So I love the way that I just have to say this. Voiki says that nobody is naked. Is she on the wrong call? You are more than welcome. If that floats your boat, go, honey.
Take it close up.
All right. So actually, before we start, I am going to do one clearing, if that's okay with everybody. So all the judgment, expectations, projections, separations, refined judgments, anywhere that you've bought that this call is something that it isn't going to be, that it can give you something that you don't think it can, or can't give you something that you think it can, all that crap, can we please destroy and uncreate it all? Times ago,
yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys, beyonds. All right. That is my only clearing, possibly. Let's go, guys.
Yay! Where do we want to start?
Well, we were having a little bit of a chat prior to this call starting. And we were talking about, well, Ben was talking about the space of kindness. And that got my whole body just like lit up. Cool. Should we start with that?
Yes.
That was super fun.
Awesome.
So, Ben.
Oh, that's what you meant by that.
Shall we start with that? Ben, you need to speak.
All right.
Yeah, so where did we were talking about, what were we talking about when we went into that?
Well, okay, so I've been doing Access for about 5.5 years now, and it's really cute to me that it took me that long to get to the point where I am now, and I am so grateful that my body has slapped me around a bit to finally, like, are you ready to wake up yet? And so I can just share a little bit about what actually got me to this choosing something completely different with my body than I've ever chosen before, at least since I was a little kid. But I don't remember it then either. So in my adult life, so about, 3 months ago, I was in Canada. I was not making any money. I was literally starving. I had eaten nothing but rice for about 2 weeks. My body was shutting down and I could feel it. Like I would wake up in the morning and I was like, I'm not hungry today. That must mean that something is not right. And so I got to this point there. I was like laying on the floor in the shower while the water was running on me, just curled up in a ball, and like, body, like, we're not gonna make it if this, like, something has to change here or we're gonna die.
Yeah. And
like whatever I've been functioning from and whatever I've chosen to get to this point, I'm willing to let go of all of that, because I know that right now I need to have a relationship with you like I've never had with you before, to actually have the life that I know is possible.
Yeah, wow.
So that's where I was. Start the call with a happy moment. So here's what I can tell you from that point. Within 48 hours, I was on a plane to Hawaii. A dear friend had bought me a ticket and sent me money to fix my car and get out of Canada, and took me to Hawaii for a week. Um, and everything has changed in my life since then. And my relationship and my body has shown me, it's like, oh, all you needed to do was ask. I've been waiting for 5 years, but thanks for, and since then, the kindness that I've experienced in my relationship with my body has been unlike anything. And the joy that I've experienced in my life, and like life is fun. It's orgasmic. It's blissful. Every day is a mystery and a miracle. And like, I'm truly happy for the first time in my life, and it's only getting better. And I keep asking questions, and it keeps getting better. And so it's all starting here in my body, and choosing kindness with my body, and choosing it no matter what, like choosing something truly different no matter what it takes.
Yeah, right.
And so it's been so lovely that has rippled out into every area of my life, including my sex life.
Yeah.
Yay!
How does it get better than that?
And so one of the things that I've noticed is that since I've chosen this kindness with my body, my relationship with my body is my first priority. And so when I have sex now, I'm not having sex to go have sex with someone. I'm having sex to honor what my body is asking for, if it's asking for sex. And then my body has found such delightful people to play with. And it is the kindest, most nurturing and honoring sex that I've ever experienced in my life. And how does it get any better than that?
How does it?
So this is kind of the space that I'm in now, and what I'm learning, and for the first time in my life, I'm actually not making choices based on women. I'm not making choices based on who I want to be with, or who I think I need to be with, or who's going to take care of me, or blah, 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 which is what I was choosing from, that was getting me to dying on a shower floor or whatever. And so that's it's really that was the choosing something different. It was choosing to make my body first no matter what. So yeah, that's a little bit about kindness and sex and what I've been.
That's so beautiful.
That is amazing. I'll have that too, please.
Yes, me too.
And it gets me to the space of wondering really what kindness is for our bodies. Look at being in that space that you were saying, that you were on the shower floor with your body, knowing that you weren't being kind to it. And that how everything is so connected with that. You're saying about not making any money, and like how much our bodies actually shut us or shut down when they are that space. I know my body has done exactly the same thing, and my body has done it in a way that when I was choosing abusive situations or abusive relationships, or I was choosing to abuse myself, my vagina literally closed. And my body was, it would get me to the point where, like, it would try everything else first, and then it was like, I'm going to get you where I know you're going to pay attention. And it'll be there. And I was like, holy shit, what is this? And until I was actually willing to look at the space that I was not being kind to me at all, full stop, that's when it was like that flicked the switch for me. How much do we use sex as a punishment, as abuse, as I know this sounds like
what are you doing? Hey, you're breaking your rules right now.
I know. And then when we turn to the, I'm not saying it's all doom and gloom, but when we turn to the flip side of that, and we're actually willing to listen to our bodies, connect with our bodies, actually our bodies know stuff. And I do this all of that with that hashtag, my body knows stuff, because I'm literally like, oh my God, because my body is literally going this. And like you said, Ben, you know, joyful people who are willing to play with my body, adore my body, respect my body, worship my body. When I'm willing to be that space for me, these people are showing up out of the woodwork, and not in the way that I would think they would.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God. That's
Not in the box that I would think they would. I'm like,
Nope.
but I don't find you attractive. My body's like, yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Have
we
a
do.
seat.
It's crazy. But how much, you know, when we have those fixed points of view and fixed ideas and fixed judgments about, okay, well, I'm attracted to this.
Right.
Like, is that really true? You know, how much have we exactly, and how much have we bought everybody else's stuff of what that is?
Yeah.
You know, being in Italy, the tall, dark, handsome Italian man thing. You know, straight away I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, everywhere I was looking. And the guy that's been the most fun is not that. Let's just say
Yeah.
You know what? One of the beautiful things that has shown up for me since that choice point is I mentioned my relationship with myself. Also, my relationship with other men has completely transformed.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like, I've had bromances brewing everywhere I've gone since I made that choice. And really developing these kind of nurturing, honoring friendships with men that were completely foreign to me before. Like, it was all my friends were ladies, and it, like, I didn't even know how to relate to men. And so you were talking about attraction and how, you know, your body's like, oh yes, we are attracted to that. And I noticed that what my body is attracted to and what it's surrounding itself with ever since I made that choice is kindness.
Yeah, right.
Love that.
So that's who I'm drawing into my life now, are kind people, man or woman, you know, whatever. And I've had some of the sweetest, nurturing conversations, hugs with men that I've ever had in my life, and it's just been yummy. Yummy.
And you know, what if that actually was sex? I was having this conversation with somebody the other day when they were talking about sex basically being the penetration aspect. Like, you know, everything else around it was just, it's not sex for this person. I was saying to them, okay, well, what if it was in, you know, the conversations, in the look, in the hugs, in the, whether it's man, female, whatever that is. And I mean, he couldn't get his head around it, and that's cool. That's where he was at. That's fine. But it really started, like, I was, you know, I had all this awareness, and it was then really started, my body was almost like, oh my God, we've been trying to tell you this for so long. So, okay, I'm cute. Not very.
I know I'm cute. I know.
Exactly.
I know
I'm getting it now. It was, and with the gender thing, I know Johanna and I, we've talked about the gender thing before. Is there any, and I know that this is something that you have had a lot of awareness on, is there anything that you wanted to add with that? Maybe not.
Which one of us are you talking to?
Johanna.
Okay,
I thought we were talking to Ben.
No, sorry, because I know that you and I, we've had...
at me.
I'm like everywhere.
I'm just so aware that the gender thing is such a construct, and it's not true in the least. And that sometimes we identify as one or the other, but I think there is this scale, and there is this space of having a playfulness of being whatever energies that it is. It's just we've been taught, and we've been kind of perpetrated on with the limited beliefs of, well, this little box means that you're a man, and this little box means that you're a woman, and it's all about energies and what you're supposed to want and portray out and do to other people. And it's also how your body looks. And
oh God, yes, God, yes.
and what fits with what, and just there's such an insanity and misidentification and misapplication of so many things all lumped and lumped together. It's just insanity galore. It's just so insane you can't even see straight.
I don't know, even when
And also when, like, me, for example, I'm a infinite being in a body, in a woman's body. If I'm not willing to receive certain energies from the same sex, how can I receive from my body?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It actually ties down to what you said, Ben, about choosing to have a relationship with your own body and having kindness for your own body. And I think it's so lovely that you already had those experiences with having the bromance and having a totally different relationship with men after that, because now you have a relationship with a man that is you and your body.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the crazy things in sex also, between same gender or different gender, that if we're not willing to receive ourselves and be sex with ourselves and receiving, then how much fun are we really going to be to play with? And how much are we willing to receive from us and the other person?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And
So
also, all
we
the
kind of cut out ourselves, it's not going to be very much fun, because then no one is going to be present, which is usually the case, actually.
and I know that like you and I have had quite lengthy conversations about this before, but
Yes.
you know, we've been talking about, and especially from a woman's, you know, if we're then talking about gender, from a woman's point of view of being that show pony.
Oh yeah.
And like cutting ourselves off, cutting our pleasure off, cutting our body off. Like I used to be the ultimate show pony. Pretty much any fantasy that the guy would have, I would pick it out of his head and I would be it.
Yes.
You know, I didn't have any consideration whatsoever about my body and what I liked, what I enjoyed. It wasn't even about that at all. It's about what can I be for you. The sexual healer came into that too, but it was also the
very much.
it was really as well but like I will be like, I have this amazing capacity to be a chameleon, and it was, you know, I'll be whatever you want me to be. And
I just recently discovered
a good time. Yeah.
I recently discovered that I don't think I ever chose for me in a relationship. It just stood out like, you know, kangaroo balls that I'm working. I see you. Like I've just done that so massively, like going in and being turned on, but it wasn't my turn on. It was the other person's turn on.
Exactly.
And also I've been noticing where there's like what I call too much energy, where I get really excited. That's usually when there is warped energy, a kink, where there's so much energy kind of suppressed or behind it, a really like a vast, like a space of possibilities behind, but kind of cramped together in a contraction around something. That's when I so easily just jump in and think that I'm attracted to that or get super turned on by that, but it doesn't have anything to do with what my body desires.
Does that come into, for you, does that come into the sexual healer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like knowing, like, and not even cognitively and not even going there cognitively, but knowing, okay, this person requires this, I will be this.
Yes.
And how many times I'm just talking about myself, and not that anybody else has done this on this podcast, of course.
What are you talking about?
Do you wake up, well, not even wake up, do you just feel like absolute dog shit afterwards? Like the amount
Very
of
many times.
Yeah, the amount of times that my body is just saying to me, oh my God, what the frig have you just put me through?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I share something that?
Yes.
This is so doing the sexual healing work, you know, less consciously and then much more consciously over the past 5 years. One of the things that I came up with is what I call the ABCs of sexual judgment. Okay.
Okay.
So the ABCs of sexual judgment are so attraction, blowjob, copulation.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
Fucking
God.
Right?
awesome.
That is exactly it.
So the idea behind this is that like we get in this tunnel, like even with what Johanna was describing earlier, kind of this contraction. And I picture like this tunnel, the train is in the tunnel. Oh, I'm attracted to this person.
Yeah.
So
That.
I'm going to get in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that means now that I'm attracted to this person that we need to go here and then we need to go there along the train track to get to copulation.
Yeah.
Right. And so what I've discovered over the past 5 years is that all along that tunnel, there's all these exit points where where the energy actually goes. And if you're sensitive to it, if you're being kind with yourself and your body, your partner, whatever, you can actually feel that energy go in a different direction. And what I found is that if you follow it, often it doesn't lead to copulation. Often it leads to this beautiful reservoir of healing that's just waiting over there to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
And it creates far more intimate experiences with the person that you're with, and more oneness and just yumminess and just, oh yeah. And so yeah, that's this thing. And the other thing that I learned is that attraction it's like the spoonful of sugar that means that you and that person have medicine for each other.
Yeah.
And that medicine doesn't have to be unpleasant. It doesn't have to be trauma and drama at all.
Yeah.
It can be the sweetest, most beautiful nurturing and healing of coming back to yourself, of them coming into their self more, of loving yourself more, of receiving more of you, receiving more of them, and what that opens up for everything else. And it's it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And what else is possible when we actually choose from that space too, and be aware of that energy when it's almost like a wave, I think. Well, for me, it's kind of like a wave as well, you know, and you can choose something different from that. And I think, Ben, what was coming up in my head when you were saying about that was that, and it goes back to actually what you were saying, Johanna, was about, you know, you have this attraction, but a lot of the time it actually isn't about sex at all, and we make it about sex. Like, you know, we'll go there and it's like, oh,
it's like this big assumption that if there is an energy between us, that means, oh, we're going to have sex.
Yeah.
Like we jump to conclusion right away. What if it's not that at all?
Yeah.
What if we had other options to play with? Because as adults, when there's an energy of something between us, we directly go to the conclusion that means we're going to have sex.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I love when you're saying conclusion right now. It's really striking me. It's the exact same energy as copulation in my judgment. You know, like
conclusion of copulation.
Conclusion, and it's like, and it's one of the. Okay, no, I won't say anything that'll get me in trouble there. But no. My favorite part is everything else around it. And if copulation happens, how wonderful is that? But it's everything.
Totally. And what would
the way the energy moves in the body? It's it's just, and it's okay. Yep. Okay.
And what invitation can we be? So again, you know, with like, I'm so grateful for you being on this call as well, Ben, being a guy, because I've been talking a lot about this to different men recently, and it's out of the sphere of, like, some of them are getting it, but a lot of them, it's out of the sphere of anything that they have ever experienced before. You know, what would it really be like, one, for us to be that invitation, which we're being, whether as men or women, but also for, you know, I was talking to a guy the other day about the space of, you know, in some African tribes, or prior to 1700, young men used to go to women to be taught how to, you know, make love, adore their bodies, basically be great lovers. Like, what would it be like if that was more of the norm now. Like, it wasn't that young people were learning how to fuck basically from porn.
Yeah, that's so horrible.
You know, and all the sexuality that is, you know, with advertising, etc. There is no sexualness. It's not about receiving. It's about gifting and being
no
a show
kindness.
pony. No kindness. You know, not even any conversation, let alone communion. You know, you're not supposed to talk during sex.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
You know, how many? I've had, like, not started a conversation.
You're not supposed to laugh either.
There's that thing you can talk about during sex, and it just is mostly expletives and baby.
Exactly.
Oh,
Talk
you
dirty.
like that, baby?
I know. And every molecule of your body is screaming no, but you kind of go, yeah, it's great. Not
Or
gonna
you
do that
use judgment. You use judgment to kind of ramp up the energy in your body or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's always so fun.
Exactly.
Not fun. My body doesn't want that anymore.
No, absolutely.
I have another, like, hashtag thing is body has veto.
Yes. And when we're willing to listen and really tap in, and I think, like, for me, it was really going to the space of noticing all the judgment, noticing all of the projection, noticing all that stuff, but actually going with what my body was saying.
Yeah.
When my body was like, really? No. And I was going, oh, come on, we can do this, body. Come on. And my body was like, seriously,
No.
I am saying no to you now. I've closed your vagina. What else do you want me to do?
Yeah.
To make your tits fall off.
Exactly.
I'll do it.
It's just, that's a little too much, you know.
Yeah. You know, I just saw a question pop up that had to do with age. Did anybody spot that? About age difference? I didn't see exactly what the question was because it disappeared on my phone.
I'll read it out to you. It says, what do you think about relationship, young man, old man? I recognize now that I have a lot of points of view. Cool. Well, it's an interesting point of view.
So, I think there's a reason that popped out to me, because in the last year, my lovers have ranged probably 30 years from like in the gap to 17 years younger and 10 years older. And so I've received a lot of judgments in the past year. And it's been incredible.
Yeah, right.
It's been so incredible to receive so many judgments, positive and negative, or good or bad, whatever. And totally get to this place now where I just don't fucking care what anyone thinks about me. It's so
exactly.
yummy. It is so choice.
What
you know, I went through the creepy uncle, the molester, the abuser, the boy toy, all of it, like it's and so I'm so grateful for that.
Such a freedom beyond, isn't it?
Yeah, the more judgment you can receive around all of that. And you know, there's two rules that I live by, and I do this in relationship as well, but it's first of all my relationship with myself. And it's, the first rule is, you're not allowed to make yourself wrong. Ever, for anything. And if you catch yourself breaking the first rule, that's okay.
I love it.
You can't make yourself wrong for that either.
No.
And then the second rule is, take care of my body first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everything that I've created now has come from these rules. And then you can take that and into your relationship with other people, and honoring other people, and what contribution can you be to other people if you're not making yourself wrong and honoring your own body first. And it's been incredible. But yeah, it's the judgments of age and being with people of different ages and all that kind of stuff. It's like, if you got issues with money, go to the casino and start putting coins in the slot and just pot and parking the whole way. So, you can use that analogy however you want.
I love it. Yeah, what if it wasn't about age at all, but rather with different kind of energies that would be nurturing to us to play with and have fun with for both parties? I mean, if it matches, it matches. That's
Exactly.
awesome.
And do you really give a shit about what anybody else thinks?
Not really.
Well, I know who asked the question. Yeah, I know who asked the question, and I just would like to ask that to her, whether she really gives a shit. I wonder, and what would happen if she didn't.
Yeah, but pretending like you give a shit makes us respect you so much more.
Totally. And it's a freaking awesome question too, you know, and really like
yes, it's been really up in my world lately, so I had to look at it for some time.
There are
being
a lot of
older woman attracting younger men.
Exactly. And there are a lot of different judgments with, you know, how much in society do, like, Ben, if you were choosing to have sex with an 18-year-old, you'd be like society would be like, yeah, go dude, like, yeah. Fucking awesome.
If I do that, I'm horrible.
That's the judgments you hear, but then there's all the bickering behind your back. That's all the other judgments.
Absolutely. And then you know, with us as women, you know, either, like, I know for myself, when I've been with older guys, it's like, oh, I'm a gold digger, or I'm a cougar, one of the two. It's like, well, you know, well, what age group would you have me go for?
Yeah, exactly. Very narrow.
Exactly.
How about the kind one? Let's do the kind one.
Exactly.
Let's do the kind ones. Let's not care about age. Let's do the kind ones.
Exactly. I am going to actually clear that, if that's okay with everyone. So everything all of that brought up or let down, can we destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Yes.
Tons of godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, or national supposed beyond. Thank you. Just a little bit of charge on that for some people. Cool. Awesome.
I would love to dive into, maybe abruptly, but I don't care, but I would love to dive into the topic of blowjob, because
I knew you were going there.
Yes, of course I do.
I knew it too. I knew it too.
I love that. But I love what you said in our pre-talk. I would love for you to bring that up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so a conversation that I had recently with a lover, we were actually talking about the very topic of oral sex, and so I was kind of explaining that how, like, oral sex is not my favorite on the list, so to speak. Sometimes it's really nice, but most of the time it's just kind of, it's okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, appreciate that, you know, but like really, what's super nurturing and satisfying for my body is to actually be next to the other body. And so if they're sucking on my cock, a lot of times their body is not actually in that much contact with my torso. My torso has more erogenous zones and sensitivity often than my penis does. Like, and also the energetic connection that I experience when the torsos are together is so much more yummy for me, that often a blowjob can kind of pale in comparison to the power of that connection. Now, I'm not going to say this is an all the time thing or 100% thing, but when I mentioned this to my partner, she actually thanked me, because she actually had a similar experience with oral sex. And by saying it herself, it, like, me saying it to her, in a way, it kind of gave her permission to actually be an allowance of her preferences too. And we were saying that, like, even 69ing would be better for oral sex because our bodies would be together, like, you know, and like and because that's the part that's like super, super yummy. And, you know, it's going to be different for everybody, and everybody's going to have their different, you know, but it's really that what is kind and nurturing for you and your body. And are there other possibilities other than the B's of sexual judgment, attraction, blowjob, and then copulation or conclusion, as it were, you know? And what other ways can you explore that kindness, and how would your body like to explore kindness with another body that is exploring kindness with your body. And
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, yeah. So that was the most recent kind of fun thing around blowjobs.
I love that. That's it doesn't match what society or this reality tells you.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. That kind of opens up to having a bigger, not like a menu, but like a bigger set of options to, or possibilities to play with. Because I find that we are limiting ourselves so extremely much in sex of what it can be and can't be.
Yeah.
And it's like this very short menu. I'd like to offer some. I would like to order something off the menu.
Right. It's like going to McDonald's for.
Yeah. No, thank you.
It really is the ABC like that, though. You know, it's
Yeah,
almost
very
like
much.
people have gone, okay, it's going to take 20 minutes. We're going to do this for this amount of time. I'm going to kiss you for a bit, and then just see if there's any wet down there. And then you're like, I'm going to push your head down. Just gently, subtly push your head down to where you need to go.
Yeah.
And then I'll fuck you. Are we good? Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's so horrible.
No.
It's like the ABC or the 1, 2, 3s of how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's going to work on every person every time. And that's, I mean, that's such ludicrousy.
Yeah.
And what about presence? I mean, there's nothing more sexy to me than presence.
Me too.
A man who's willing to be totally present with me, that is such a huge turn on. He doesn't have to do the, oh, I'm going to poke you here, I'm going to poke you there, and I'm going to lick you here, I'm going to lick you there. That's not it.
Yeah.
If I lay down just beside a man in bed, preferably naked, and he's being super present, my body's going to be turned on by him not even touching me.
Mine too. And I actually, sometimes in those cases, I actually don't want him to touch me.
Yeah.
My body is so in that, oh my God, space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, just don't touch me right now. Like, I'm so good right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because don't go to conclusion, because this is so delicate.
Yeah.
And there's also so many conclusions. Like when you were really young, you were trying out things. You used to make out more and touch each other and kind of play with the energies more. And now the more grown up you get, the more limited version it gets.
You know, and I have gone back recently to just the making out thing. The whole vagina, the vagina closing assisted with that.
It reminded you. Remember when you were a teenager and you used to do this?
Exactly. It's like,
and it was like, just as good.
Torso up kind of thing. You know, and the fun and joy and pleasure and like just that really around making out for me is like, my mouth is the probably biggest erogenous zone that I have on my body. And then there's a whole heap of like, my wrist and my inner elbow and like just all these places that guys haven't necessarily gone to unless I've, you know, like manipulated
directed them.
Yes. But the making out thing has been, and I've literally not gone back to, but you know, changed it so that is a huge part now for me. And it's not just, we're going to have sex, so let's make out. It's the like throughout the day. So
I love that.
5 minutes making out on a street corner, I don't care where I am, I don't care if there's people watching, I don't care. Like, but being that energy of that for a few minutes. And it's, you know, it's not about me humping his leg or anything like that. Like, it's just really being the energy of being both people being so present, both bodies being so present. You know, the touch, the eye contact, the
the dance of the molecules.
Yes.
It is another kind of copulation because you're exchanging things. The molecules are dancing. I've had, especially one guy that we have sex, that I call it having sex, when I'm just present with him, talking, fully clothed, in broad daylight, but there is sex going on.
Exactly. And that's what I was talking about before. You know, it's everything, and, you know, trying to explain this to people, it's everything all around that. It's not the ABC part. Well, you know, maybe the attraction's there, but you know, what if we were having sex with everybody all the time? Like, we're
Yes.
beings. Every single molecule is energy. How much
Mhm.
are we dancing with all of that energy when we're actually willing to receive everything
Yeah.
from everyone,
Yes.
including the seat I'm sitting on, you know, the
Yeah.
lamp behind me?
Yeah, the sense.
Can I add something to the
Yes.
to the judgment piece from a man's point of view?
Yeah.
Please.
So the judgment of the hard cock
Oh yeah.
and everything that means, and everything that's
Yes.
supposed to be and then shouldn't be,
Oh,
and
God.
everything else.
Yeah, right.
That's
So-
massive. Oh my God.
So
And so
ever
many guys do sex from judgment. So if you are, Kelly and I have been having this conversation many
One of
times.
my,
Like when you are actually being the space of no judgment, a lot of men don't get a hard on.
I've had many partners recently that cannot get a hard on around me and have made themselves very, very wrong. It's just, I'm not judging them. So they're like, what
am I
do
going
with
to do
you?
with you?
So what my experience has been in the last 3 months since I made that choice in Canada, like, so sex has gone from, so my penis has changed a lot. Like, it doesn't do the same hard as it always is for the duration functioning from judgment sex anymore. And so it actually ebbs and flows. And so my lovemaking has gone from, like, maybe an hour or something like that, hour and a half if it's like a really good one. Well, now an hour has become a quickie for me.
I love that.
And it's usually more like 3 to 4 hours. And my penis is changing constantly throughout it. And it's becoming whatever energy is required to be present.
Cool.
And so it just ebbs and flows, and it's been really yummy, really, really yummy. The menu has expanded exponentially
I love
as
that.
far
Better
as
than that.
what is possible. And a lot of that, just letting go, because I'm aware of it. Anytime, I'll get a little softer, a little harder again, softer again, like, I'm aware of, like, my judgments of it, actually, no, I'm aware of a lot of judgments around me that I'm aware of. It's not even my judgments of myself and my body, because even my lover was like, wow, that's really cool. Whatever's going on there, it's really working. Like, it's doing some awesome stuff. And I'm like, good job, boy. Anyway, so yeah, that's been a really fun one for me to look at, especially, having worked with men that experience what is called and labeled erectile dysfunction. And I'm like, okay, prove it. Like, is it really a dysfunction? And what else is possible, and how much of that is the judgment of what should be and what shouldn't be, and all that kind of stuff, and actually what is this beautiful tool between my legs capable of that I never even knew?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I get that is portrayed very heavily of men, that you're supposed to have a hard on whenever and be ready whenever.
Right. Yeah. So that.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody just asked, what is your POV on male energy and female energy? And I actually have an example of that I discovered recently.
Cool.
So this is just my cute little illustration of male and female energy, or masculine and feminine energy. So has anyone on this call ever pet a cat?
Yes.
All right. Probably most of you have. So I did this cool thing with a cat, and I was actually illustrating it to my friend. I was like, watch this. Like, this is kind of like masculine and feminine energy. So it was a female cat, so that helped. But so I went in with a firm hand and I scruffed her by the neck. And immediately her whole body relaxed and just opened up, and like she like turned on her belly and just like opened up her legs, you know, and just like rub my tummy kind of a thing, right? And so it's like, okay, so what if that's like an expression of masculine and feminine in that way? And then I switched the energy, and I just was like tickling like behind her ear and, you know, on her neck a little bit like that, and she just started ramming into my hand like to like, yeah, more, you know. And like, and I noticed, okay, so that's kind of an illustration of the receiving of the feminine, the invitation and the receiving, and then you know, the presence and the power is kind of, and it's not even a man and woman thing. It's just, if we're going to look at these different energies, it's not a man and woman thing at all. That's one thing that I love about my body, is how beautifully balanced in the masculine and feminine energies it is. So I can totally go back and forth with that, and love playing with that energy in whatever direction that energy wants to go. So yeah,
that's cool.
And that's another thing that this reality kind of limits down usually. If we don't do a massive amount of job or work on ourselves, or get to that realization where we actually have the whole range of energies to play with, and we can kind of encompass everything and play with it where, as we say, fit, or when it's fun for us.
Yeah, and with each different person in each different moment, including ourselves.
Yes.
You know, how many times, even when we are giving our bodies pleasure, however that shows up for you, whether it's masturbation, whether it is having a bath, whether it is, you know, whatever all of that is, you know, actually choosing to be the energy that's required for our bodies in that moment. You know, how we actually would like to be touched, how we even the way that I talk to myself in my crazy talking to myself way, like I'll play with different energies, even with that, you know, different words, etc. as well. And like when we cut off, and when we're playing with another body or other bodies, you know, when we cut off any part of us, or we deem ourselves too masculine, or we deem ourselves too feminine, or somebody's got a projection or a point of view about that. Like I used to be told, you know, you're so like a man. Because I was, with the guys that I was choosing at the time, I was, what would the word be? Voracious, maybe. I was a bit more kind of like potent and like raw with them. But I play with that.
Oh, here she comes. Yeah, I know. Wash out, chew you up. Oh, here she comes.
I've had that quite a bit. Yeah.
He's a man eater.
But when
I knew somebody would finish it for me.
When I'm choosing to play with all of those energies, and it actually has changed since I've been willing to choose a different type of body to play with as well, like without those judgments, points of view, etc. And also the people that I now am not automatically going in and healing.
Yes.
That, you know, I'm just like, it's like, I'm so attracted to you because you are so fucked up, and I need my body's just gonna, you know, it's gonna heal you, and it's gonna be great. And
Can I get a healing?
Exactly. Not that anybody else does that. I'm sure it's just me.
No, never.
I just wanted to say, like, with the inclusion of the masculine, feminine, whatever you want to call them, energies, we're all energies.
Yes.
Every single energy is available to us, you know, if we're willing to be it, receive it. So yeah.
If anyone is waiting for permission, you have my permission to play with any energy.
And mine. And how much fun can you have with that too?
Yeah.
I was making out with a guy once who was a very energetic being. And he's like, let's play with something. I was like, okay, what you gonna do? And he said, okay, I'll kiss you and I'll be different energies. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's play with this. So the first one, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's all right. And he said, I was being the energy of da 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 da. I won't say any names. And then, you know,
different people.
Yeah, and it was amazing.
Oh.
Right, and then the last one, I was like, holy fuck, that was amazing. I was like, who the hell was that? And he said, that was you.
Mm.
I was like,
Fucking hell, yes.
I was so willing to receive
oh my
that
God.
in that moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so fucking beautiful. I love that.
That actually, I had that experience with a lover once where she was, and she explained this after, but she was touching my body as if she was, oh God, what was it? It was like she was
touching
being,
you like
she was
you.
she was being me touching her.
Oh,
wow.
nice.
And it was
Oh
cool.
my God.
It was, do you get the energy?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh my God, yes.
It was yummy. Like,
Yeah.
and my body was responding and just like, wait, it was like, oh yeah. Okay,
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Oh
I
my
love that,
God.
Kelly, that he was being the energy of you with that.
It was so much fun. And it literally was. Every single molecule in my body just went, this. I don't know what this is, but this. You know, and actually then being willing to receive me, like I was, it was just an amazing, it was such a gift, that too.
Wow.
And also, you know, me perceive, because I've, like, the people that have chosen to be on this call and the people that are listening, you know, later down the track to the recording, you guys have energetic capacities that maybe you're not even aware of, you know, the capacity of your capacities, right? So
probably not.
Probably not. And how much more is available to you than you have ever considered? What if you started playing with those energies? Like, I ask questions of my body, but I ask questions as well, bigger picture questions, throughout having sex. I ask my body, okay, what energies can we be here right now? You know, what is this body asking for? Body, what are you asking for? Where would you like me to move? Like, what would you like me to play with? Like, really, and it's not about me not being present, like me thinking. I am so freaking present with it, and I'm so present with my body that it actually expands everything. It's not about me thinking about, oh, what am I doing here, blah, 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 or thinking about my shopping, or, you know, like, I have to be so, when I'm so willing to be present with me, it changes everything.
Yep.
So what if you guys had some home play, and, you know, what we've just been talking about, the three of us here, with being the different energies, how much could you play with that with another body, or just with your body?
Yeah.
Really pull in different energies, choose to be different energies. I also pull in the planet.
Yeah, me too.
And I pull in the planet, and every time that I have an orgasm, I'm asking, whilst I'm having an orgasm, universe, show me what else is possible. And I expand into it, and my orgasms have gotten insanely good. And what else is possible? Like, I'm so willing to have even more. But really, you know, what if you were willing to expand into that lightness and space of sex?
Yeah.
I hate even using the term sex, because I almost using the term makes it go like that again. Not that. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned the planet, because another thing that popped for me was just this, like, over the past 3 years, I've been going out into nature by myself on a regular basis. And I'll go out for a day, I'll go out fasting and hiking for 4 days on a vision quest, I'll do whatever, but cultivating that relationship between my body and the planet and nature, and actually receiving the contributions of nature, the guidance, the information, the teaching me about myself, but also how the earth guides me. That hasn't contributed to how it guides me with bodies at all.
I had an ex that I used to connect with the earth and kind of become the earth, to have him make love to the earth through me. Wow. And every time I did that, I just did it energetically. I never told him this. Every time I did that, he got so turned on. He was like crazy.
Awesome.
Don't play with that.
And also, guys, as humanoids, you know, how much do we like to gift pleasure to?
Mhm.
Like, I know
Oh,
for me,
yeah.
it's like, I want to, you know, I just want to give you
Yes.
everything. What if we would then be that for us?
Yes.
You know, how much more could we receive if we were willing to gift everything to us and receive everything?
I mean, it is such a turn on to enjoy your partner's pleasure.
Oh,
So if you're willing to totally receive that pleasure from your partner, that is such a big turn on for your partner.
Yeah.
That is truly gifting and receiving at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's really, I mean,
my body's going like this now.
yeah, mine too.
How does it get any better than that?
I know that play.
Me too. Do you guys have any closing comments? We've reached time, so just if you've got anything else you'd like to add before we go, then
You know,
speak now.
I have something I'll throw in, and it's right in line with what we're talking about now. I had this special experience in nature a month or so ago, where I encountered a magical being, and I'll call her the lady in the water. And it was this natural hot spring coming up in a river where it would just envelop you in its warmth while the cool water was swirling around your body. And she held me in her arms, and she said, just receive. You don't have to fight anymore.
Oh.
Just receive.
Oh my God.
Thanks.
Wow. Yeah. I think you may have just made the whole
totally melted me.
Yeah, me too. How does it get any better than that?
Yeah.
Whew. I think we're going to leave it on that note, guys. I think we're good.
We're good for now.
We're good for now.
Cigarettes out.
I love it. And I think the three of us will have a chat and see if there's any more of these. This has been a really fun conversation. I'd love.
Yes, I love this.
Yeah,
yes.
How does it get better than that? And I'm so grateful for you guys.
And thank you for everyone contributing massively by your presence. Even people like listening in the future, because your energy is already here contributing.
Absolutely.
And everyone on the call, because we can all feel you.
Yes, we can. Thank you. And for the spaces and places that you're actually willing to go. And would you acknowledge that you guys are leaders in this area?
Yes.
And are inviting the planet to something totally different? Yeah. Yeah. So everywhere that you haven't acknowledged that, would you like to do it now, please?
Fuck yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. I have really a little bit dodgy internet for uploading, but I'll get the replay out to you guys as soon as possible. So any contribution to the internet would be in France would be fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. All right, guys.
So did I got it right? Part 2 is next Thursday?
We shall see.
I was hearing something. Really, somebody said it. I don't remember.
Boyke, you know how we work. Ask and you shall, Steve. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Might just happen.
You put it out there,
Yes.
Cool. How's it get better? All right, guys. Thank you. Mwah. And I'll speak to you soon.
Okay.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye. Have some fun.
Bye, lovelies.
Bye.